Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience.
I don't want you to scratch the surface anymore about your life. I don't want you to be almost where you want to be, because you have a potential on the inside of you. And more than anything, we want to help you here to reach your potential and become the best version of you. Why? Because it matters. There is no one else on this earth, on the face of this planet, that is like you. No one has the same hair follicle on their head. No one has the same retina in their eye as you. And no one has the same thumbprint that you have. You are made unique, and you are made special. And so the reality is that I want to see you, we want to see you thrive. We want to see you go to the places you've never been. And if you've been diagnosed with something with your health, we want to see you come out of that like a champion that we know that you are. So stage 4 cancer, get out of the way. High blood pressure, get out of my way. Diabetes, you better get out of the way. Okay? Because on this show, we're going to teach you everything you need to be informed, to be educated, to be empowered, and to be equipped to be able to go to that next level with your health in your life. Look, and also make sure you can call us here on the show. We take your calls here on the show, and also your text. If you want to text me a question, we'll take that on the show. And a lot of times we'll answer the text privately if you just want to ask a question and don't want it to be on the show. We'll do that as well. We just want to help you. We want to connect with you and get you to the next level with your health and with your life. Now, the other thing, too, is you can DM me on social media. If you're not following us on social media, make sure to do that. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all of those. We're there, and you can just follow us there and join in everything that we're doing. All the information you can see in front of you. But we want to help you thrive and really, really make it. And if you don't have a free copy of my book, look, I'm giving it out for free right now. So I'm giving the hardback copy of my book. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. That's myfreehealthbook.com, and we'll send you a copy of that hardback copy. And it's my best-selling book, international bestseller, and we'll send you a copy of that just to get you going on your way. All right, but let's go to the phones and kick off and go with Olivia. Hi, Olivia. What is your health challenge?
The reason I'm calling is because I see so little on the air about pancreatic cancer. I was diagnosed in 2007 with pancreatic and liver cancer and given 2 to 3 months to live. Obviously, by calling you, I'm still here.
Yes, you are.
And the reason the doctors say that I survived and other patients with the same treatment did not survive is because of the diet that I went on, which was an alkaline diet, as well as a juice that my husband put together after studying at length to see what were the best vegetables and fruits for me to have. I just wonder why it is that more people, more hospitals don't acknowledge this diet as being good for people. It sure as heck can't hurt anyone. My doctor said that it was the only reason that I survived all these years. So I'm curious to know why we don't hear about pancreatic cancer that often, and we don't hear about an alkaline diet.
I'm going to start right here by just saying I'm so glad that you've got someone on your team to be able to help you walk through that. That's amazing. It just sounds like your husband is the ultimate cheerleader. And I'll tell you that that's one of the big keys that we found in longevity of people making it through something like that, is having that partner and that person by their side that really can walk with them in that process. It really does matter. So I'm glad he's there. I'm glad he's helped you with the juicing and done the research and all. That being said, an alkaline diet is really important. Matter of fact, when I talked to and interviewed all the different cancer doctors before our feature film that we did, docuseries called 8 Days, and I interviewed all these top cancer doctors from around the country, the number one thing that they said, well, they said two things. Number one, I said, if you could do one thing that gets rid of cancer, what would that be? And, the one thing that they all agreed on, every single one of them, they all agreed on one simple thing. And that one simple thing was get rid of meat from the diet. That simple. Do you know that pretty much all, from what I have found, diets that are anti-cancer, meaning when somebody has cancer and they're diagnosed, that this is the diet that they put them on to get their body to heal again, is a vegetarian-based diet. And guess what? Vegetarian diets with the right kind of foods added, in them, and if they're not using a bunch of processed foods, real whole food vegetarian diets are alkaline, extremely alkaline, because vegetables and fruits are alkaline in nature. And so it does give the body what it needs so it can function at its best level, and it can thrive, and it can do really, really well. The more acidic the body is, it's not going to thrive. You got a high cancer rate and environment in a high acidic environment. Now, the body, that being said, there's a lot of controversy between the acid and alkaline state in the body. The body does have its own buffering mechanism. And it will, if it gets too acidic, it brings it back to neutral. If it gets too alkaline, though, it still brings it back to neutral. So it's got this own self-regulating system that we have to understand that works. So when you ask me why most doctors don't talk about that, it's because we're not trained. In medical school, we are not trained at all for nutrition. And any doctor that's listening to this or hears me, they'll be like, they're nodding their head. They're going, no, amen, totally. We're not taught at all about nutrition. You're thinking, well, why not? Well, it's just not in the curriculum, okay? So because I've got 3 doctorates, I was trained previously, and I'm also board certified in nutrition. Like, that's where I went all in on the nutrition side and lifestyle-based medicine. I went all in on that because I knew that was the behind the scenes of what people needed to do every single day to really get healthy and really thrive. Like, I knew that was the path. So I wanted to study it intently. It's why I got 3 doctorates, to make sure that I knew that information inside and out, to help somebody really thrive and do well and get to the next level. So that really was the key. And that is the key. Your doctor's right. Like, you eating that way and your husband doing the research and you guys following that path is one of the reasons you're still here today. Matter of fact, it's probably the main reason. But outside, now keep in mind, it's not just the diet. You've got a great support system in your husband. Probably have a great environment to be in, right? Comfortable home. Not a lot of stress, or maybe there used to be, but now there's not. So you've got all that managed. So you've got a lot of things that are a blessing, right? That creates, because your environment and your social surroundings makes a big difference. Like, in your healing, it makes a huge difference. So I'm glad you have those things. It's really, really important. But it's not taught a lot, so you have to do your own research. Now, I would say that when you have cancer or you've had it and you beat it, an alkaline-based vegetarian plant, we call it plant-based. I really like that phrase a lot better. But a plant-based diet is the best way to go when you're dealing with cancer or high blood pressure. If you got severe high blood pressure and you just don't, or heart disease, and you've had a clogged artery, maybe you've had a stent put in your heart, the plant-based diet is the way to go. It is bar none the best when it comes to disease process as far as reversing it, because it's really the only diet that has major studies behind it, like where someone had cancer or they had diabetes or they had heart disease, and because of eating this diet, like they followed them, the disease reversed, meaning the cancer tumor was gone or the clogged artery was unclogged.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today. Did you know that you can listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at AsaRx.com/experience.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Dr. Dean Ornish has done major studies on this. Great guy, extremely brilliant, and is now really one of the first doctors ever to do a study like that was published. And he's a colleague of mine in the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. But again, it's one of those things that you have to look at and say, okay, it is the way. And so you got to make the right choices, and you have. Now, don't forget that exercise is really important. So I hope you're doing that. And adding to that, water intake is important. So half your body weight in ounces of non-chlorinated water. You probably already know this, but it's really important. It's not about distilled spring water and all that. Just make sure it's non-chlorinated and make sure you're getting enough. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you drink 50 ounces a day. If you weigh 200 pounds, you drink 100 ounces a day. You get it. And I wouldn't be afraid to add minerals. I'm a big fan of trace minerals and electrolytes into your water to add to that, because your body loses so much of that, especially if you do drink a lot of water. So start there and just continue on your path. If you don't have a copy of my book, hopefully you'll get it. I'll give it to you for free. You just go to myfreehealthbook.com and we'll send you a copy. And that way you and your husband can have a good roadmap and encouragement to add to your already good encouragement, okay? But thanks so much for that call, and I'm glad you're doing well, and I'm glad you're making it. And I know a lot of times people want me to say, what supplement do I do for this or that? For what you've got going on, stick to the basics. Great eating, great exercise, foundational 4 supplements that I always talk about, turmeric, vitamin D, all the basics. You know what you're doing. You guys have got a great thing going. But get a copy of my book so you can find the details and really fine-tune all that, and that'll help tremendously, okay? You can give us a call always. You can text me. We have a text number now. DM me at any of the social media platforms that we're on. We're on all of them, TikTok and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those, okay? You can always DM me there. And more than anything, we just want to see you make good decisions. And however you're tuning in, just know that whatever you came here with, you don't have to stay with. If you came in here with a diagnosis and you're tuning in, you're listening, you're trying to figure out what you want to do or how can you break through and get to the next level, it really comes down to your choices. That's all it is. It's not genetics. It's not your grandparents and your mom and grandma and grandpa and what they passed down to you. That's not it. It's about the choices that you're making every single day. The choices are what matter. And that is, without a shadow of a doubt, the key. Now, let's talk about healthy hormone levels. Guys, we're going to talk about testosterone. Now, I've got a huge thing I could talk about rant-wise on testosterone, but people ask me all the time, like, what's the key for healthy testosterone levels? Well, I'll tell you, we're not going to talk about hormone replacement therapy right now, but most guys under the age of 70, 65 don't really need it. And what I mean by that is you can get your body and push your body. You've got to unlock certain keys, but you can get your body to make the kind of testosterone levels that it needs to make. It's not that hard to do. So you can do that if you have the keys. But I want to give you a few things right now that can really help with testosterone levels. Number one is getting enough protein in every single day. The protein rule that I teach is this: 1 gram per pound of protein 1 gram per pound of body weight every single day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, it's 200 grams of protein a day. Now, where you get that protein from, chicken, fish, beef, or eggs. Peas are really good if you want to do the vegetarian route. That's fine. I like fish and eggs. It's what I use mostly, and I use some protein powders and bars like a no-cow bar. Those are all my favorite. So protein's important. The other thing is, this is weird for me to, like, you're going to think, why? Sleep. Sleep is really important. They did massive research on this. People that get regular, good sleep, not with sleep apnea, not waking up peeing 8 times a night, right? But good, solid sleep throughout the night, they had much better performance in their testosterone levels, like 100, 200 points higher for those that slept more. So sleep naturally regulates our hormone cycles and plays a big role in that. So you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep. The other thing is zinc. Zinc is a mineral that is really good for our immune system, but if you don't have enough zinc, then it's going to cause testosterone levels to drop and be lower. So that's something you want to look at. And here's another one that's really good that I just love is resistance training. If you're not doing any kind of resistance training at all, you want to make sure to increase that. And it doesn't have to be weights in the gym. It could just be body weight exercises. There's a great system called DDPY that a good buddy of mine put together, Diamond Dallas Page. It's a great system. You can check them out at ddpyyoga.com. But I'll tell you this, it is an incredible system. You have to do some kind of resistance exercise in some capacity to get your body where it needs to go. And testosterone is dependent on muscle tissue, meaning the more muscle you have, the leaner your body will be, and the more testosterone levels your body will produce at any age. So by getting that in order, again, I could give you a list of 15 things. All of that's on my website, by the way. If you go to the website, you can text us. You can get one of our health coach providers, and they can help you with the longer form of that. But I just want to give you some nuggets that will help you in the hormone category. I'm so glad you're with us. Look, right now I'm going to jump in and talk about exercise. I talk about it a lot because I'm into it. I exercise 6 to 7 days a week on average, twice a day. It's just been something I'm into for a long time. I'm working on 3 times a day, trying to figure out how to get that in. And I know you're thinking, like, why would you want to do that? Because I know it makes a difference. And every single day that goes by, we're all fighting against the aging process, right? I want to be able to go as long as I can, strong as long as I can, and be the best version of me as long as I can, right? So to do that, we know this. We know that muscle is the key to longevity. It is the secret that unlocks longevity. When you have a lot of lean muscle tissue, not big like a bodybuilder big, but quality lean muscle tissue, less body fat, your body functions at a much higher level, and really you get much better results metabolically in how your body reacts and functions. So the goal should be to build as much lean muscle as you can and reduce the body fat as much as you can. Well, here's what they found out in some of recent studies, and this is important. Like, I know you've heard, just go out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and take a nice walk, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Something is better than nothing, and I will take that over, like, no activity. I'll take that over gardening any day, okay? Because gardening doesn't do anything, by the way. I don't mean to bust your bubble. Like, if that's your thing, you need to get out and get walking, get your body moving. Gardening's not going to do anything. It's a cool thing, gardening, but it's not for exercise. It's not. So they found that exercise is really, really good at trimming belly fat. And matter of fact, researchers found that when middle-aged or senior adults did regular walking, regular moving, that it did trim down their waistline by a couple of inches. That's a good thing, right? But they also found that if you increase your intensity level, double of that it took higher intensity to lower blood sugar levels, to take people who had diabetes and get them out of diabetes. So the higher intensity exercise made that person get stronger, made that person's body reverse that health challenge. The same thing is true with high blood pressure.
If you're looking for increased strength, increased endurance, and better recovery, then look no further than an all-natural nutritional supplement called creatine hydrochloride. Concrete is the brand, and it's the most absorbable form of creatine hydrochloride found today. Now, creatine is not just for athletes. You probably heard that before, but creatine hydrochloride is for the everyday person looking to improve their health. Listen, I started taking creatine in college when I was a strength and conditioning coach at Florida State University, and I've taken it ever since my college years, and it's made a massive difference in my life. Everything in my body, I believe, is functioning better because of creatine. Creatine hydrochloride I've moved over to using Concrete, and it is the best form of creatine on the market. Concrete creatine hydrochloride is available at most Walmart stores and on Walmart.com or any store that carries nutritional supplements. Just make sure to look for Concrete brand creatine hydrochloride and watch your endurance, your strength, and your recovery and your immune system get boosted today.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Same thing is true. And high blood pressure is, I'm telling you, with exercise, it's what you do every single day that matters. It really is. Like, you have to, it's the effort that you put in that gives you the ultimate change. It really is. It's what you put in. Like, your intensity with exercise matters. I mean, if you have to do it gradually, fine. But there's a difference between going out and doing a casual walk and doing a walk like you're being chased by someone, right? Not running, but that walk like you're nervous. I always say because this used to be a thing for me, like you're late in the airport and you're trying to catch a flight, like you don't really want to run because you've got bags, but you're walking so fast that you're almost jogging, right? If you go into that pace, now that is a higher intensity than just a brisk or just kind of a lollygag kind of walk. You want to push your body to go more intense. Now, if you can get into the next level, which is like sprinting for, say, 30 seconds and then walking for a minute, sprinting for another 30 seconds, and then walking for a minute, all of that is great. Like, if you can get to that intensity level, you're going to double the performance and what that does to your body. You will increase the benefits of what happens in that high intensity exercise. But we know for a fact, like, if you want to reverse disease, I call them health challenges. If you want to reverse health challenges, the higher intensity exercise is the way to go, hands down. And I would look at that on the regular, because it's so simple, and our website's got everything about that kind of exercise that you can follow. Check it out there. And also, don't forget to get a free copy of my book. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. AsaRx.com. We are so glad you're with us. Listen, this show is about you. It's about your health and your life. Whatever you're struggling with, just know if the body can get sick, it can also get well. Lifestyle is the medicine. That's what we got to talk about here today. It's what we talk about every day. Whatever you're struggling with, just know this, that you're not stuck. Whatever you walked here with, heard, tuned in here with in any capacity, just know that whatever your diagnosis is does not have to be your long-term prognosis. You can get well. The body's designed to get well. And if you can get sick, you can get well. And look, here's the whole deal. That you are made with an unlimited potential. You are made with a potential that is so great that you're not even scratching the surface. And on this show, we want to help you to believe again, to believe that you have value, to believe that you have everything inside of you to become the best version of you. We want to help you do that, give you the tools and everything you need to make your health an ultimate priority so you can make really good choices each and every day. Now, you can give us a call. The number's there. You can also text me, and we'll make it part of the show. And if you want us to not make it part of the show, you just need an answer, just let us know, and we'll take care of that. Our staff will take care of that, the whole 9 yards. Look, we will take care of that for you and get you the answer that you need. If you haven't joined our health club, man, you've got to get in the program. Like, our health club is our inner circle community, my inner circle, where I really dig deep. Okay, I get in there with them every single week. You have direct access to me, but our health club is so, it's on all the websites. All the information's there. It's so simple. The cool thing about the health club that I love is that it's a community where everybody can join and be there together. Like there's somebody in there that has lost 100 pounds. And if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, there's that person there that can help you walk through that. There's people in there that have overcome diabetes. They've overcome all these different health challenges. And, if they can do it, you can too. And the cool thing is that you may have been trying to do this or working on this for 10 years. When you have the right person, like myself or our team, that has the knowledge that can dissect things for you and give you the details of what you really need, you can turn decades into days. And that's the key. That's how you win, is to get around the right people with the right information in the right way in the right time and turn decades into days. I mean, that's the key. We want to teach you. We want to help you along the way. So the health club is something great. And also, I'm sending a free copy of my book to everybody that wants it, anybody that wants it. And again, we were back ordered for forever for a while with the supply chain, but we've got all the books in now, so don't worry. But reality is, we've had so many people ask for it, and I just want to encourage you that the hardback copy of my book, my best-selling book, it's got the anti-inflammatory diet in it, so you can get started. But I'm giving it to you for free. Just go to myfreehealthbook.com. You got to do it online. myfreehealthbook.com. Don't call my office and try to send a check and all. We don't do that. You go to myfreehealthbook.com. It's automated. They'll just send you a copy, and it's amazing. It'll get you going and get you started, going down the right path to get your health where it needs to be. All right. Now, we're going to jump on the phones in just a moment, but I've got an email that came in. Wes in Las Vegas, Nevada. And my boy Bradley out in Las Vegas. So he said, I went to the doctor and had blood work done. Okay, good. Proud of you for that. The reason I am because most guys don't get any lab work done, don't go to a doctor and just wait till something breaks down. It's not smart. Like, I'm one of those people, and I'm like a doctorate 3 times over. But I'm still a guy, and I could still do that if I didn't have the knowledge to tell myself, you need to go. So he said my liver enzymes are up a little bit, and I want to know what to do about that. It makes me a little scared. Okay, first of all, don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared about with liver enzymes that are elevated. It could be fatty liver, which is most likely what it is. But, you want to get your doctor to look further into that and really kind of dig deep, because liver enzymes, if you drink too much alcohol, that can make them go up. If you do have fat forming around your organs, which is extremely popular if you're in what's called metabolic syndrome, which is where you're insulin resistant, you've had a lot of carbohydrates for a long period of time, and your body's just not functioning as well as it needs to, and the insulin sensitivity is all messed up. Means that you don't handle carbohydrates well. Then you start building up fat around the organs, and that's not a good thing. That has to stop for sure, because that is dangerous. So if your liver enzymes are elevated, it could mean a multitude of things. the place where you want to start is eating the right kind of foods. Of course, I always talk about the anti-inflammatory diet. It's in my book that we're giving away for free right now. Go to myfreehealthbook.com, and they'll send you a copy, okay? But the enzymes, to way to lower those, one is called N-acetylcysteine, NAC. Now, we've heard a lot about that recently because it's really good for the immune system. It's also good for lung tissue. But the other thing we found is that it's really good for supporting the liver and helping the liver function. The other thing in this category is apple cider vinegar. Now, it's kind of like an old grandma remedy, but we know it works, and we know it supports the liver in a great way. So apple cider vinegar, you could do a tablespoon typically. It's what they recommend with your meals. And it helps to break down proteins, but it's really good for the liver and very cleansing to the liver. Dandelion root can also be very cleansing and beneficial. So they make dandelion tea, and the dandelion tea can be very good. Also, burdock root is really good for that. So you can get all those, of course, at health food stores and whatnot. But I would look into that. And more than anything, this is kind of like just another little tip, is to get your blood test done again. Like, wait a week, eat really healthy, right? Drink plenty of water, avoid any alcohol, go back to your doctor. It's called getting a retest or a second test or a B-level test, where sometimes the values are off and it could have just been the lab test for that day. A lot of times there can just be lab tests that are off, and getting that check can make you the numbers normal. So I would get that check too, just to make sure that wasn't something along those lines, okay? Thanks so much for that email. Remember, you can always email me like that, text me like that, send me DMs like that on social media. If you haven't joined us in social media and followed us, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of those, make sure that you jump in with that. All right, let's go to the phones and talk to William. William, what is your health challenge?
I'm calling to find there's certain foods you can eat and things. Having problems getting an erection, and I don't like taking pills. But I want to maybe see if you can help me out with that.
Yeah, William, I tell you, ED, or erectile dysfunction, it's a big deal. A lot of guys deal with it. And they think that, a lot of people think that it's just, a testosterone issue, right? Like you get older, your testosterone levels go down, and it just doesn't work like it used to, that kind of thing. We found out so much more. It's all about blood flow. And if the more weight that you carry in your abdomen, like in your gut, in your belly, the more weight you carry, the more issues you tend to have in that area with erectile dysfunction, because the blood flow begins to diminish over time. The less exercise that you do, cardiovascular exercise, that will start to diminish over time. So giving your body the right tools of what it needs as far as lifestyle goes is a big one. Now, there are supplements and things that help, but I'm going to tell you this. They did this study, and they put somebody on, men, on a vegetarian diet and then a standard American diet. And they kind of tested how the erection happened between the men. And the men that were on the vegetarian diet, within days, increased their erectile ability versus the men that ate meat and fatty meats. So there was a study done for that, and it showed that the plant-based diet, as we're calling it now instead of like vegetarian, because it gets confusing with like vegan, vegetarian. I like to just call it plant-based diet. It makes it simple. You're eating plant-based, right? So you're eating more just fruits and vegetables and cutting out the meats and things. The plant-based diet is really good for erectile issues. Now, there's supplements that are helpful for that too. Of course, you were mentioning the pills, and you don't want to take those. I get it. You want to do it naturally. The main thing that all those drugs do that are for erection issues, they were actually not created for that. They were created more for blood flow, and then that was like a byproduct of it. What they do is they create a substance in the body called nitric oxide. And the nitric oxide is now, of course, they had a Nobel Peace Prize research done for this, an award given, which is like the highest award you can get, right? They were given an award, the doctors and scientists were given an award for this because they found that through whole foods like beets, that when nitric oxide is increased in the body, it increases the blood flow. And when it increases the blood flow in vessels, it lowers blood pressure, which helps with heart disease, and that's a big factor. And then the other thing they found was that increased blood flow Well, if it's going to increase the blood flow in one area, it's going to increase the blood flow in every area.
Are you ready to chow? It's time for Keto Chow. When it comes to eating healthy, the keto diet has become one of the nutrition leaders in optimizing health, losing unwanted weight, and reaching your health and wellness goals. No extravagant cooking, no long kitchen cleanup, and most importantly, especially for me, it's convenient. Just put quality Keto Chow powder in a bottle, add some heavy whipping cream or your favorite fat, a little water, and boom, shake it up and you're ready to chow. Keto Chow tastes amazing. So make Keto Chow easy for you and your family today with Keto Chow. Let's go chow. Visit Keto Chow online at ketochow.xyz. That's ketochow.xyz.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
And so they found out that the blood flow increase actually helped with erectile issues and erectile dysfunction, ED. And a lot of people, then they formulated the drug from that, and they started using that in that category. But there's supplements out there that do the exact same thing, completely natural, raises the nitric oxide level. One of them is, it's a combination of L-arginine, these are amino acids, L-arginine and L-citrulline, those combined. Now, there's some green tea extract they put in there, and typically put another amino acid called L-ornithine in that combination, but it works very, very well. And they found that when you do that on a regular basis, that it can really support that issue that you're talking about. But I'll tell you another one. The citrulline that they mix with that arginine is actually the key ingredient. Like if you had to pick one of those and use that, the citrulline has got all the research behind it, because the citrulline actually formulates into and increases the arginine levels from all the other foods that you're eating that contain arginine. So citrulline is kind of like that catalyst that really makes the difference. I think they say like 6 grams a day. It's a powder. You can put it in shakes and whatnot. But it really, citrulline does make a big difference, and it's great for your heart and your vessels. Like, it's not just for ED. It works for anything in your cardiovascular system. Remember, if this is kind of like a thing that we learned in my medical training in the hospitals. I'll never forget this doc saying this, that how well the erection works in a man is kind of like a meter on how healthy his cardiovascular system really is. And that's something to think about. So a guy's healthy cardiovascular system, you're going to have a healthy erection system too. So the two go hand in hand, unless there's been like nerve damage or vascular damage or whatever down there. But, for the most part, it's a good rule of thumb to look at. So I would encourage you just to look into those. The nitric oxide supplements, we have some on our website that can be supportive to you. It's great for the heart. It's great for erectile issues. But, getting the foods in every single day that have high levels of arginine. We have a whole list of all the arginine-based foods in my book. So a great place to start would be to get a copy of my free health book. Go to myfreehealthbook.com, and we'll send you a copy of that. And that way you can follow and use that and start, adding in those foods. Like almonds, for example, are super high in arginine. I'll give you a couple. Arginine. And then dark chocolate. So dark chocolate, 70% or greater. Not the super sweet milk chocolate, but the dark chocolate has high levels of arginine in it, and is amazing for supporting the body with blood vessel issues all the way around. So there's some great things out there that you can do that's completely natural, where you don't just have to take a pop of pill to make everything work, because you want the body to work on its own. That's the key. We all want that. We want the body to function at its best level as long as we can. And the great thing about the body is that I love, and that's why this is such a good question, is that if the body breaks down over time, and you're getting to this point right now where you're like, man, I need to do something, that's okay. Because if the body breaks down over time, you can get to a point where today you're going to make new choices. Today, you're going to start the path to lose the weight off the waistline. Today, you're going to start the path to eat better. You're going to start using things that raise your nitric oxide level in the body. You're just going to start doing the things that you know to do to function better, to get the body working better, so that you can go to the next level with your health in your life. And that's what this whole thing is all about. All right, so thanks so much for that call. Love having these calls here on the show. Plus, you can DM me, you can text me. Don't forget, all that information is right there. Now, I want to jump in and talk about some tips that can really help you with sleep. Sleep is such a big issue that we have to look at it. I want to say this too, that when you're looking at anything to do with sleep, one of the things you got to look at is your overall circadian rhythm, and that has to do with the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are the body stress glands. Getting those tested with a health coach provider on a regular basis will make a massive difference in your overall sleep patterns, but guess what? And your energy levels. Energy is predicated on how well your body's natural rhythm is working. It's not just about being tired and overworked. It's about the amount of sleep that you get, how you sleep, when you sleep, and it's also about the adrenal gland system and how well it's working, getting the right nutrition on a regular basis to build it up, to go, so it functions at the peak level that it needs to. Because a lot of times we just rely on coffee and stimulants to get us going, But again, that's just masking an underlying issue. Sleep is one of the best forms of medicine that we can have. Let's talk about sleep for just a minute. Sleep is so important in the overall grand scheme of our health, and no one wants to talk about it. We're in this hustle and grind society, and look, frankly, I get it. I'm running multiple companies doing this and building so many different things, family, personal life, that it's easy to lose sleep, and it's easy to let that go to the wayside. Sleep's important, and you have to get enough of it. Now, not everybody needs 8-9 hours for sure. Different body types need different amounts, but I can tell you the sweet spot is about 6 to 8 hours. But here's the deal. It needs to be quality type of sleep. Like, you have to get really, really good sleep, deep sleep, where you're, in that deep level. I can tell you a couple things that really will help you with your sleep patterns, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. First, I want to make sure that you know for a fact that you've got my book, okay? If you haven't got a free copy of my book, go to myfreehealthbook.com, myfreehealthbook.com. Get a copy of it. It's my hardback copy. We're giving it away for free. It's going to get you started with all these principles that I talk about so you can follow it step by step. Because the anti-inflammatory diet is the starting point to cut out the inflammation. Most people have inflammation, in the body, and we want to get started with that. Go to myfreehealthbook.com. You can follow that in a great way, and it can help. So your body, remember, it's so simple. It's a machine, and it's very powerful. If you give it the tools, then it can function in the right way. Okay, so I want to encourage you to do that just because you want to be able to thrive and make it. You don't want to be stuck where you are. All right, I want to talk about sleep. I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips that you can follow. To get better sleep, one of the number one things you want to do is look at using magnesium in the evenings. Now, you can use magnesium oil. Rubbing it on your feet is a real good thing. It absorbs into the skin very well there. The other thing to look at is also lecithin or phosphatidylcholine. It sets the brain up to get into a good, deep sleep stage pattern. Okay, phosphatidylcholine, lecithin. It's a supplement form, or you can eat about 3 whole eggs before you go to bed. I know that sounds like 3 whole eggs. You can drink it Rocky style. I do. I drink 4 Rocky style eggs every single day. For real, I do. But it's great for the brain, and it gets your brain into a deep stage, in a pattern where it can get into a deep stage of sleep. That's another one. Here's the other thing. All your devices, your phones, your tablets, and all that, shut those down 2 hours before bed. Like, if you're reading your books on your tablet, get another book that you can read in bed or whatever and read the actual pages. It's much better for your pineal gland in the brain, and it'll help you get into a deeper stage of sleep a lot easier and a lot better. So that's another one. Turn your lights off in your house 2 hours before bed and just have maybe one lamp on, but make it mostly dark and dim so that it sets the brain up for the pineal gland to start secreting what's called melatonin. You've heard of melatonin? It'll start secreting that melatonin so that the body gets what it needs to go into that stage of sleep, so it starts relaxing the body in every capacity. Because if you have all the bright lights on, like these lights here in the studio, bright lights, and then you got the blue light on your phone and your tablet, and you're trying to do all of that right up to the point that you go to bed, it's going to wreck what's called your circadian rhythm, and it's not going to allow you to have the deep stage of sleep that you really need to get the recovery that you need for the next day and to improve your health in the way that needs to be improved. So just a couple little tips that will help you with your sleep, but mainly get into a routine. And what I mean by that is, along with the light changes and all of that and moving the tablets, is to get a routine of what time you go to bed every night on the regular, and then what time you wake up in the morning. The more you give your body a routine, it will thank you 100 times over, and it will produce the kind of health that you're looking for.
Did you know you could listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the AsaRx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.